Aoki Aku.
Jallen.
Jallen.
His Excellency.
And Magus.
Legion 20.
My pen name is actually a combination of two anime characters that just happened to be on at the time when I needed one. Aoki is the butler from Irregular at Magic High School, and Aku is the little girl from Demon Lord Reborn.
It's a combination of my first name and last name, and I combined them.
I was wrong when I named that. I planned just to become a leader. I didn't plan to become an author, but it just from the flow of things. And I read a lot of novels to the point that I just want to write. Just want to try once. And 5 years later, here I am.
Initially, I want my name to be just Excellence. However, that was too straightforward, so I decided to make it short, so it became Excellent, xlntz.
My pen name, I didn't actually come up with it. It was given to me. In the past, I used to work with a small translation group. I was an editor for them, and they just assigned a name to me, and I just kept it.
Well, it's a story that dates back to my college days. When the professor that was in charge of my thesis work learned that I had won a writing contest for a national paper and asked me to write a short sci-fi story. Legion was the name of the main character of that story.
I worked part-time and I cooked part-time.
I was an insurance agent. I sell many car insurance from Extra company.
I was previously a call center agent, but before that I was also a art illustrator.
Before this, I was an intern at a government hospital in India. I used to work at different wards. I've done all 6 specialties. I have a doctorate in pharmacy. So it was basically everything. I've also done some research work.
I was a physical chemist. I worked on the follow-up work that was born from my thesis work.
My favorite writer of all time would have to be Karen Chance. She writes urban fantasy.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Cuttlefish that loves diving.
I would say it's definitely Ergen, and all of his works are nice, so Ergen is the one.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I really loved how he applied logic to solving crimes and how in his stories, albeit short, he was able to create memorable characters that were meant to last just a few pages, but still memorable.
Actually, the world from Mecha would be a lot of fun.
I would reincarnate in a world with magic. It'd be fun casting spells and stuff.
Actually, that's a difficult question, but probably anything with cultivation.
I would say it's hard because most of them are pretty dangerous. It would have to be a FL novel that has low threats and it's mostly slice of life or comedy. So maybe something like the Bookworm's Ascendancy or my life as a wastrel young lady. I don't know the Chinese names, they might vary.
If there is magic, definitely a fantasy world, because it creates a great interaction between science and magic, which is still physics. Otherwise, definitely a sci-fi world where technology is far ahead.
The first story I wrote, I suppose the first one I wrote because I wanted to write it, was actually fur fiction. It's, yeah. It was just a strange little short story that I happened to want.
Well, my first one was the one I'm currently writing. It's the strongest assassin Reincarnates in the world. And I got the idea from reading other books and stuff like that, watching movies and playing games. Yes.
I was into Romance of the Three Kingdoms back then. There were many games and novels, and I just tried for once. I wrote a fanfic about it, and it was horrible.
Okay, my first written story was actually discontinued. So writing was just difficult at that time, so I didn't finish it.
My first story is Walker of the Worlds, and before I started writing, for around 2 years or so, I was kind of getting bored with most of the stories I read, and then it came to my mind that maybe I should start writing something of my own. So for 2 years, I just jot down ideas that came up to me, plot ideas, character names, what powers they could have, the worlds, different kinds of techniques I was inspired from watching other works. I added them, and then eventually it became a rough draft, and I never actually thought I was gonna write. And then COVID happened, and then I finally started writing because I had a lot of time, and that's how Walk Up the Words came to be.
Yes, it's also a fantasy story, and I wrote it after I lost my best friend. It's that inspired me to write it.
A little bit of everything. A lot of it comes from the stories that I read.
Yeah, from some games and movies that I've played over the years. I don't have the exact video game.
Night gags, games, and YouTube comedy show.
Normally, I'm just getting inspiration from RPG games or fantasy movies.
I draw inspiration from almost anything, but my main sources are other books, music, and DC universe.
The biggest challenge in writing? For me, it's always the first 10 chapters. Trying to build the backstory, the world that the story is going to live in, is the hardest part of my writing.
Combining writing with school sometimes can be hard to find time, especially during exam sessions and seasons and stuff.
About consistencies. When you write about system, we have to take note about what we have declared in the novel. And it's very difficult to keep track of that when the novel goes about 300 to 400 chapters.
It's probably the criticism from the readers, because normally I won't be able to focus on my work if the criticism was too much.
Making real life work with work, because making fitting together fitness, chores, writing, it's hard.
My favorite online novel? The King's Avatar.
My favorite online novel would probably be The Sword God in a World of Magic by Magus.
That would be, what does it call, Black Tech Internet Cafe system, something like that. And one more, bringing the farm to live in another world, that's my favorite.
At the moment, my favorite book is Lord of Mysteries, and it's really a good book. And I also learned a lot of English with that book.
My favorite online novel would be A Will Eternal by Ergen.
I became the tyrant of the tower defense game.
Plan in advance. The more that you have written down before you write the first chapter, the easier it is.
I'd say to not give up and work hard, because the success won't come in a day. Take maybe a month, 2, 3, sometimes more.
Well, it's simple. Just finish the ending first. Finish the ending first. Plan your arcs, finish the arcs. Plan your story, finish the story. Don't write the beginning first. Write the ending.
Don't be easily discouraged, and learn how to use cliffhangers.
Yes, my advice is as follows. Many new authors tend to imitate too close their favorite novel, generating a copycat. So my advice is stop writing, think for a moment what you can give to the novel that only you can give, not just blindly follow your idol.
I think they've made it a lot more interactive. With printed novels, you never see the book until it's completely done and edited. But with online novels, you're there right every step of the way.
WebNovel is revolutionary, actually. Because of WebNovel, there's many platforms, similar platform, and many original work has been pop up out of nowhere. And I just lost track how many online novels are there in the internet.
I think there are many disadvantages and advantages for that one, but I think it became a lot easier for us because it became portable. You can read it anywhere with the online novels.
I would say it has opened it up to a lot of people who would never actually write, and it lowers the bar of entry so much that anyone, doesn't matter whether they're poor, rich, or whether they're already working or looking for jobs, or students, housewives, anything, anyone can write and they should write.
I think it'd actually be one of my readers that on my very first story on WebNovel, every chapter he would go through and correct all of my grammar. And I actually got better at writing just to make him stop.
There were many in web novels. I think they try to influence or dictate my writing, and they actually smarter than me. I think they make a better writer than me, and actually I somehow shift my story according to him.
The name of the reader was The Fall of All Things. He left a very good impression. He comments a lot, and his name actually sounded like a movie title or a book title.
One of my readers, D34, Drayton, is eerily good at predicting my plot. Like, I have plot written like 500 chapters away, and he knows it already. Somehow he guesses it, and I have no idea how he does, but I guess he's that good with the story that he knows what's gonna happen. So he's definitely one who's had the most impression. He's also one of my top paying readers, so.
I actually have him in my Discord, so I talk to him fairly often, but I'd say thank you. It helped.
I keep commenting like you're commenting. I love them.
I hope you keep on reading my work and enjoying it.
Definitely web novel.
Absolutely web novel.
Definitely web novel. I would say before you write, read. Read as much as you can and understand what goes, what works, and you'll do better.